Hi, this is Todd with Esoteric. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about our performance upgrades on our Camaro ZL1 1LE. Okay, as the second part in our Camaro series, we have gotten our performance upgrades finished on it before we move on to the detailing side. First, I'm going to kind of talk about why we do it that order, and then we'll get into some of the specifics of what we did. We're working with a brand new car. We're doing a lot of different things to it. We want to make sure that we're not messing up any of the work that we do. And even if you're incredibly careful when you're doing mechanical work or upgrades to it, you have a chance of, some bumps and bruises and scuffs on it. So we do the performance work first, then we go back and do paint correction and film and coatings, which will be the next videos that come out. So since this is a little bit above our pay grades here at Esoteric, we do some basic bolt-ons, some suspension and some exhaust and stuff, but this was a little bit bigger surgery. So we went to see our friends over at Carlyle Racing up in Plain City. They really specialize in GM. They do a lot of different brands, but GM is kind of what they're known for. Went to them, sat down, talked with Eric and Mark, came up with a plan on our car here. And the plan was, first, it was, I want this thing to sound better. Then it turned into, we can get some more horsepower. Well, we could really increase the torque on it, make this a good track car. So we came up with a plan of attack on it. And then speaking with Eric Hargett, the tuner there, we talked about having reliable horsepower, and we talked about having this set up for a track day, something I can take to Mid-Ohio. This isn't a straight line car. Guys at Carlyle do a lot of drag racing motors. Drag racing motors, they get set up a little bit different than what you want to do with a car like this that's going to be at Mid-Ohio and another kind of track. So the plan was we're going to change out the header pipes. Went to Kooks, get the catless header pipes on it. Then we got them to make us a crossover pipe that's not even technically listed that they have yet. But the guys at Carlyle have such a good relationship with them, they were able to get that taken care of. Now, this is now a completely catless design. So if you're thinking about doing it out there, it sounds incredible. It makes a lot of horsepower, but you're going to get a lot of exhaust smell out of it. This thing sounds and smells like a race car now. So if you're, some people don't really like that heavy scent. If that's the case, you want to go with a catted design. They've got a couple of different options on it. But here, fortunately for us in Columbus, we don't have emissions testing, and I kind of like smelling like a race car. So that is the setup that we went with it. Additionally, we went with the Rotofab intake on it. We went with a WeaponX ported throttle body. We ported the supercharger snout on it. We went with a oil catch can on it, change out plugs, wires. We changed the upper and lower pulleys, went with a high performance belt with it. Then Eric worked with it on the dyno to get it tuned in, to get it dialed in to where we got as much out of it as we felt safe. We didn't really tweak it out for highest gains possible, because once again, we're looking for reliability in this setup. At the end of the video, we'll go over the dyno run. We got some great footage and sound clips of that, so you can see it. I know that's what everybody really likes seeing is a dyno run. Some people may think, wait a minute, this car starts off with 650 horsepower, 650 pounds of torque. Why would you want to or need to add performance? And my answer would be, why not? We like doing this kind of stuff. People are passionate about their cars. They're always going to want to tinker with things, and that's what we wanted to do here. This is also a show car for us to take to events to represent Esoteric. We want to make a grand entrance. First of all, this car, just looking at it, it makes a statement about itself. Very mean, very aggressive. It sounds crazy now, and the horsepower delivery on this is just unbelievable. What we ended up getting with just these mods here in dyno tuning, we gained 135 pounds of torque at the wheels, and we gained 85 horsepower at the wheels. And with that torque curve, it immediately goes up and stays relatively flat. It's like a John Deere tractor. At 2,500 RPM, I'm about 700 pounds of torque at the rear wheels. I took Dan here from the shop for a ride the other day, and we had a little bit of fun while we were out. He was giggling and laughing out loud pretty much the entire time. He said, this thing feels like you're about to die, which adds to the excitement of driving it. And I said, well, Dan, what do you think about this compared to the Turbo S you used to have? He's like, what Turbo S? Those two do not compare in fun factor any way, shape, or form. Yeah, the Turbo S is really refined. It's ridiculously quick. We talked about it in our introductory video. But if you want to go out and have fun, you get an American muscle car like this, you add even more horsepower, visceral, it looks nasty, it sounds nasty, the smell that comes along with it, it's just an absolute blast. Love this car. It is a lot of fun. A couple other things that we did to it too is we changed out the wheels. We just got in a set of Forgeline GTD1 5-lug wheels for it. We kept them in the satin black. People say, well, why would you keep the same color? It's hard to tell. Well, with the 1LE, this has a smaller 19-inch diameter wheel on it. When you have a black wheel with black tires, that whole thing kind of looks like a wheel. So keep that in mind. If you go from a dark wheel to a really bright wheel, all of a sudden that rim is going to look like it's a smaller diameter than what it was before. So we did that. It's all the same factory specs, same offset, same size, but they're lighter than stock. Not a huge amount, but 4 pounds per wheel on average, what we measured. What that's going to do, that's going to affect handling. That's also going to affect acceleration because the less weight that you're spinning around, it's kind of like getting some bonus horsepower to it. And we switched it over to street tires. We went with the Michelin 4S's. The stock Goodyears, they're fantastic track tires. They're horrible street tires. I talked about it in the intro. When I drove this over to Carlyle Racing, it was about 45 degrees and raining hard. And I swear that was the sketchiest drive I've ever done in my life in any kind of car. I had semi-trucks passing me on the freeway. I couldn't go more than about 50, and it was just hydroplaning the whole way. So if you have one of these and you're going to be driving it on the street, I would highly recommend getting some actual street tires, save the Goodyears for the racetrack. If you guys have any questions on this, we talk about this in all the videos. Leave a comment below. Ask some questions, kind of join in the community. Let's talk about some of these things. You have some questions about what we thought of this or why we decided to go with this product versus this product. Hit them up in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share our video series to all your automotive friends. So, for the Carlyle tuned Camaro ZL1 1LE, Esoteric, I'm Todd Cooprider. Thanks. We'll see you again next time. Enjoy the dyno shoot that we're about to share with you.